once again, indeed for the 12th time, through the eyes of the Purdue Newsreel camera, I have the opportunity of extending my personal greetings and good wishes to former members of the university, wherever they may be. In 2 years' time, Purdue celebrates its 100th birthday. And it is my hope that many of you who do not have the opportunity to see the campus will return. The Purdue Newsreel, a joint production of our Alumni Association, the Purdue Alumni Scholarship Foundation, and the Purdue Film Production Unit, gives those who cannot and have not been able to return to the campus an annual glimpse of the changing nature of the university. It is indeed a dynamic place, and with your help, I am sure that Purdue will continue to be one of the great American land-grant state universities. Thank you very much.
With a record of 7 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie, Purdue had one of its best seasons of football in recent years. In a year of exciting football, the most exciting and satisfying victory was over arch-rival Notre Dame. The lead changed hands 5 times. With just 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game, Notre Dame goes into the lead by a score of 21-18. Purdue returns the following kickoff to its own 33-yard line. Quarterback Bob Greasy takes over, and on the first play from scrimmage, it's a Greasy to halfback John Finley pass and a 32-yard gain. Greasy completed an amazing 19 out of 22 passes in this game, which broke 4 Purdue records. On the second play, it's a Greasy to end Jim Byrne pass for 13 yards. A record crowd of almost 62,000 fans is seeing a beautiful job of come-from-behind football. It's the 3rd play in this series, and again, Greasy hits Byrne, this time for 19 yards. In just 3 plays, Purdue gained 64 yards and is on the Notre Dame 3-yard line. Halfback Gordon Teeter takes the handoff and, behind the blocking of Sal Ciampi and Carl Singer, plunges over for the touchdown that gives Purdue a 25-21 victory. Basketball also played an important role in the Purdue sports calendar. George King took over as head basketball coach, a position he held for 5 years at West Virginia. A 2-time national scoring leader while attending Morris Harvey College, Coach King played pro basketball for 6 years before joining the West Virginia Mountaineers. He brings to Purdue a fine record as both player and coach, and through the recruiting of the next few years, should bring together one of the finest teams in Purdue basketball. Although this season's record was not outstanding, what is important is the performance of the players themselves. Junior guard Henry Evershaw had speed, ball control, and deadly accuracy. Seven-foot senior center George Grams added height and played his best season. senior forward Dave Shellhouse rewrote the Purdue record book and finished the season as national scoring leader with an average of 32.54 points per game. During his college career, Dave won every national basketball award and will be a hard man to replace. Purdue is looking forward to even brighter days in its new basketball arena. Measuring 300 feet in diameter and seating over 14,000, it is scheduled to be completed by the 1967-68 season. Construction of another kind is occurring in northwestern Indiana. In June of 1965, ground was broken for a new extension center at Westville, which will replace the Barker Memorial Center at Michigan City. 1 year later, the campus is beginning to take shape, but will not be ready for students until September of 1967. The Westville Center will be a 4-year campus with a general curriculum. The main campus in West Lafayette continues to grow and undergo change. The 10-story Math Sciences building is beginning to dominate the skyline on the site of old Purdue Hall. The old Civil Engineering building is being extensively remodeled and, when completed, will house the School of Aeronautics, Astronautics, and Engineering Sciences. Soon to be a reality is the new pharmacy building to be located just north of the present building. No date has yet been set for construction to begin. Dr. Glenn L. Jenkins, shown here with Dr. Robert Anderson of Eli Lilly and Company and Dr. Maurice Moore of Winthrop Laboratories, retired in June after 25 years as Dean of the School of Pharmacy. During his tenure as Dean, Dr. Jenkins has seen this school become the largest of its kind in the nation. A chicken barbecue on the site of the new building was one of several events honoring Dean Jenkins for his long service to Purdue. Also retiring this year after 45 years on the engineering staff is Dean Harry L. Solberg, Associate Dean of Engineering. After receiving his bachelor's degree from Purdue in 1921, Dean Solberg was appointed a part-time assistant that same year. Since then, he has seen many changes in the schools of engineering. The most recent is the remodeling of the old machinery laboratory in the School of Electrical Engineering, familiar to so many Purdue graduates. Due to a decrease in the emphasis on machinery, the room will be split into 2 floors and divided into 12 modern electrical engineering labs. Atkins Professor of Engineering, Dr. Maurice J. Zucro, retired this year from the School of Mechanical Engineering. Returning to the university in 1946 after 16 years in industry, he was instrumental in the development of Purdue's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Over the past 20 years, he has seen it become one of the best and most modern college and university facilities for the testing of rocket engines and propellants. How do I pay for my education? This is the question that faces students throughout their college life. While the final decision is up to the individual, the university is willing to help and offers the student a balanced program of work, scholarships, and loans. Work can be the most rewarding, but also the most difficult. A student is lucky if the work obtained is in his major field of study, and the old cliche of working your way through college is not really practical. A demanding education just doesn't leave much free time. Scholarships are, of course, awarded on a basis of outstanding potential in a particular field. And without scholarships being made available, many promising and able students could not afford to attend college. A student with a scholarship is likely, and in fact required, to maintain a high-class standing. Important to the university, he is also likely to support the vital Alumni Scholarship Foundation after leaving the university. Finally, student loans are available to all students. Although the main limitation is based on the student's ability to repay, there may also be restrictions similar to those placed on scholarships. Since the loan has to be repaid and made available to other students, it not only provides money, but also instills the student with a sense of financial responsibility. Each of these, work, scholarships, and loans, is important in itself, while together they provide a balanced program of financial assistance that is flexible and fits the needs of the greatest number of students. It is the belief of the university that this investment in the future will prove worthwhile as the students take on the responsibilities of the business world. Since Purdue is one of the finest engineering schools in the country, its graduates are highly regarded and sought after. The space industry is but one field into which many go, and it may even be said that Purdue has more graduates than any other college or university, helping to put our astronauts into orbit. Purdue has also had 3 orbiting astronauts, with several more in training for future flights. It is an enviable record, one that Purdue is sure to maintain.
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Lind Hayes, and welcome to Alumni Song. I thought it would start. Today, 2 more teams of outstanding alumni meet in competition for more than $50,000 in American Cyanamids grants to the alumni funds of all participating schools. From Purdue University, a fighter pilot, a test pilot, the astronaut who made the second Mercury flight in 1961.
Gus Grissom.
There he is, and one of the most versatile actor-comedians performing today on stage in front of a camera.
Durward Kirby.
Oh, you're on candid camera, Durward, that's what you are. And the former Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher who will be wearing a New York Yankee uniform this year.
Bob Franz.
There you have the powerhouse of Purdue. How about that,
Purdue? Oberlin College was Purdue's opponent in a very close match, with neither team able to gain a definite advantage.
The precise location at which this armistice was assigned. Now, you're going to look on our screen. See that? This was for the Korean War. Where was the armistice signed?
Panmunjom, was it?
Panmunjom is right. Very good, Bob. Now, for World War II European theater, where was this particular armistice signed?
No.
What would you say, Bob?
Was that
Versailles?
Reimers?
I must have one answer.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Reimers?
Well, it's Reims.
Reims,
Yes,
Reims,
I'm going to
yeah.
take it yes for that. Yes,
When the
sir.
game finally ended, the score was tied, and a sudden death playoff was required.
Tied up.
Unfortunately, Purdue lost by a very slim margin.
Right now, and I want to
Spring flowers were in full bloom as alumni returned to campus for Gala Week. Some members of the 50th anniversary class arrived in style in a 1924 Buick, painted with class colors. It will need a new paint job, however, since they sold the car to the class of '41. The weather failed to cooperate, and Saturday dawned gray and threatening. Even so, many of the sports activities went on as scheduled, but with the possibility of rain keeping the attendance down. The rains finally came, and much to the disappointment of everyone, the traditional class parade had to be canceled. This disappointment was short-lived, however, when it was learned that Purdue alumnus Neil Armstrong would arrive that evening to present to the university one of the Purdue flags which he carried on the flight of Gemini 8. presentation was made at the annual Founders Day event.
I carried this flag in honor of those of you who have made our program possible, and those many Purdue individuals in the industry, in the government service, and in the educational community in the country who are so deeply involved in our program. And I feel that in bringing this small flag back, it can be nothing more than a tribute to those of you who I know would so much like to have rode with me, in fact, and did ride in spirit. So I'd like to present the flag now to President Huffey.
Later that evening, Neil, a former band member himself, was made a member of the band honorary Kappa Kappa Psi. Some former members of Purdue's world-famous Varsity Glee Club take a few minutes during Gala Week to visit with Dr. Albert P. Stewart, the club's director for 33 years. The Glee Club first organized in 1894 and began to develop its style through the first years of this century. It was not until 1933, when Dr. Stewart became director, that music became an official activity at Purdue. Under the leadership of Dr. Stewart, the club flourished and became known outside the university community. Expressing a joy for singing, the Glee Club has become world famous, making several triumphant tours overseas and throughout the nation.